Hello, everybody. Alexander Morari from ITKeyMedia, and this is our podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. Our guest today is Olena Iosifova, the co-founder of EnderTuring. EnderTuring is an AI-driven SaaS company that has been developing call center performance management software to speed up quality control, coach agents, and skyrocket customer satisfaction. I know you are not native Estonian, I understand, but let's greet each other in Estonian. Tere hommikust.
Tere õhtut. This is evening already.
Tere õhtut. Okay. Nobody knows when, because this will be published after our recording. Olena, so yet another company basing their future success and ambition on AI. And of all the AI applications, you decide to choose to apply AI for speech recognition, mostly, right? I understand. So yes. Before this recording, I was trying to guess whether or not the pictures behind you are a product of an AI-driven kind of platforms to create pictures. They are not, you said. What about speech recognition? Why you think this is important? And then make a bridge to the client group that you are servicing or approaching with the product, okay? And then, yes. So why speech recognition? You think it's important in the set business context of your clients, current and future?
This is an interesting topic, how we actually came to the idea of creating speech recognition. First of all, this is a wide range of applications that it can be used to. So not necessarily conversation analysis, but speech recognition also a part of voice bots, for example, or of machine ruling by a human with voice, which is widely adopted, let it be mobility or some manufacturing and other areas. Okay. So I believe that in the future, voice is the natural interface of human communicating with a machine. And for this, we need sophisticated modules of recognizing the speech. And the first thing that should be really correct is speech to text, because machines will understand us with the code, right? So we have to transform somehow our voice into codes. And that's first step is to create text out of it. The second part is understanding of what we are talking. So the first part, we just created a correct process of transcription and then understanding. And we created both engines from perspective of our founders, speech to text and natural understanding of natural language understanding. So both are here. And then we applied it to call centers. And that's a different story. So we started with the technology first, creating these accurate engines.
Yeah, okay. Let's focus a little bit on the engines. So first transcription and then speech to text. And then understanding, meaning by understanding, you mean we set some goals and the AI machine, I understand, squeezes or extracts whatever targets it has, right? And looking for specific information or units or pieces of information or data that we need from the speech. Okay, clear. Now, speech to text has been in the hype waves for a long time right now, okay? So we know Google Doc has this option like implanted there, which is not very accurate and so on. There are these applications like Otter, for sure you know them, Otter or similar. Let's see there, how, in one or two sentences, if you can, bullet points, how is your engine, speech to text, different, but I imply better than all the other already on the market? Or maybe you're using one of those as like white label and then use, tailor-make for your own needs. Or do you have your own unique engine created from scratch?
Yes, we created our own engine from scratch. And the reason for that was that existing speech-to-text engines, first of all, you cannot control the quality. So when you take it as is. And if it's not good for your type of recordings or your type of voice flow, then you cannot do anything with it. And we wanted to achieve the highest accuracy possible. And then
what do you mean? What do you mean? A setting like in a call center, there's usually two people speaking on two sides, and usually it's through the phone. So quality maybe not as recorded, like we are recording right now. Not always the quality is fine, and so on and so on. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
just one small question.
People interrupt each other, and also you have background noises, and you can have somebody talking over your shoulder as well. And this would be a different layer of speech. So in this situation, you need a lot of things to control to get the highest speech to text.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. And how do you compare your transcription of in speech to text mode, a transcription compared to, let's say, Otter or even Google Suite kind of translation?
Yeah, we have, at the moment, we have 24 different languages, and for them, it is different, because if you will compare English to English, then mainly you can find good, accurate engines for English language for call center environments, like, for example, DeepGram. They are specialized in it. They are better than Google in some points, and maybe better than others, and they sell their engine through the API to other companies that want to create their own applications. So if we compare other languages, that's a good point, because talking about European languages, we probably are the best there.
I see. Like, you mean like United Nations languages, right? English, German, French,
yes,
Spanish,
Polish,
Russian,
Latvian,
Polish as well.
Lithuanian, and all other. So you would find other languages that really difficult to find at all the transcription tools for them. But when you find it, like Google has like 160 languages or something, but the quality of those for call center environment, it doesn't give you any chance to use it.
How come your quality is better? Because you fed into the system more of this raw speech material, should I say? Or what's the secret sauce?
It cannot be in one thing, right? So it's a complex architecture that we used. First of all, we started implementing probably one of the first companies in the world that started implementing a two-step of neural network teaching. So first we do the basic model, and then we do fine-tuning. So we don't teach it from scratch, from one end to another end, but in steps. And also what we do, we start with the common data, open data, and then we fine-tune it based on the customer data. And when you actually fine-tune the system or retrain the model with using the customer data, then it's absolutely great for that type of recordings. And we created pipelines that don't need human labeling or human interaction with the system to train, but makes it almost automatically. And it means that every customer can get the fine-tuned model for themselves without paying additional budget for that.
Okay, so with this, let's jump into round one and be over with the warm-up or introductory part. Round one solution. Okay, so when you say the customer can fine-tune for their own needs, what technically it implies, actually? What does it imply technically? So I'm your customer, I'm a call center, let's say, and I'm selling, I don't know, like a very popular or unpopular, should I say, photovoltaic solar panels for your rooftop, right?
Yeah.
So I have 50 sales guys in my team, okay? And that's a call center, let's say. I have, I don't know, 5 million people in my contact, legitimate contacts, okay? And here's the challenge, and that just start my business. How can you help us in this context to fine-tune the standard data set or the standard like data silences that you have, right, for my AI-driven SaaS kind of utensils that you can offer me? So what are the stage for such a client?
So first of all, you get a very accurate recognition of what is in the conversation, but you really don't care if that doesn't drive any results, right?
Yeah.
So what they say there. And then in our system, you can set up multiple parameters of what you want to control in the conversation. Like, for example, who comes first with the discount offer? Really, your people are closing the deals just because they, like every other time they do discounts and they leave money on the table, actually, that your customers get from you, or they use other techniques. So we can spot lots of those patterns in their conversations and link it to the real results. Like your salespeople, did they set up another meeting, or did they set up another call, or did they close the agreement? What is this in the process? And then we can show you what type of conversations and what patterns drive your results. So it's not only about speech recognition, it's about efficiency of people communicating on the line.
Yeah. And so I understand if all of a sudden I understand you pointed out to me that, for example, these 10 sales agents are able to close positively without discounts, like effectively, right? For me, to close the client in not more than 10 minutes. And this is exclusively positive result outcome, and the rest are like 20 minutes plus. And who is making a conclusion that, hey, look carefully into the patterns of conversation and closing techniques of these 10 agents, and then read attentively, carefully, and then somehow extract this and then multiply and copy paste into others scripts or in others like techniques to sell. It's my job as a client, or you can be asked to provide me such insights, and let's call them actionable insights, not just data for data, but it's like, hey, client Alex, right? You come to me and say, Alex, this is what we found out. I think we should pay attention to this. And this is not it's a tricky question. Why? Because as soon as you say, yes, we come up with the decisions and analysis and so on, I would think there might be a scalability challenge, because it would take lots of your brain power to provide such a insight.
That's true.
But that's provocative, true. Right? It's a little bit provocative, and I wonder how you would tackle this.
Yeah. So what we do, first of all, we provide you actionable data. So what it means that you can get dashboards with top leaders, and you can easily drill down in the data to check really fast why they are.
So I do it myself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you do it yourself. And also, as we are working mainly with companies from financial services industry, we already have, let's say, pre-set up analytics for them. So we don't have to be consultants in this area to provide every other customer with some insights, but we just put best practices in the product. And then the next customer comes in, they already have a pre-set up things that they can check. And this will at least give them faster insight, really.
Okay, so you need the snowballing effect in a specific vertical, right? And as soon as you see a potential for a spin-off, right, out of this, you would be able to copy paste into some adjacent, right, or similar areas of business.
Exactly.
For example, financial would be very much in connection or intertwined with, I understand, financial insurance products, right? Maybe my guess would be. So financial products are similar to insurance, in a way.
We have overlapping analytics that companies would love to have, and even if they are from a different zone or industry. And that's why we set up some general dashboards and analytical insights. But for others, we do industry related.
Okay, one question that's very important. So imagine, you work with us and we sell photovoltaics solar panels, and we've been working with you for 1 year or so, right? In the meantime, we have a set of elaborate, let's say, paths how to reach our goals, which are based on speech-to-text recognition, which are based on AI-driven conclusions and insights that we find out ourselves, and we put in our dashboard all the targets and KPIs or whatever. Now, your next client from the same area, selling solar panels in our case, would be able to use the approach that we elaborated with you together with you, or also the actual text transcripts for their own success?
No data from you will go to any other client. We don't do benchmarks. We don't even give them the idea that how your KPI should look like, or are you in what area. Well, it works really well for small, medium businesses. You would find other solutions on the market, not with speech analytics, but with benchmarking your business over other businesses. But that's work on a great scale when you have thousands of customers, and this data could be anonymized really. In our case, we're selling to medium and large enterprises, and looking at our customer base, you can definitely say, like, if we provide some data in KPIs, where it comes from. So we don't do any of those.
Incidentally, Olena, EnderTuring, the name is interesting. I have at least two connotations, but I wonder how you would explain, because I didn't dive into etymology of the name. What does the name mean? And
it really has two connotations. I don't know which you have, but Ender.
You go first. You go first.
Yeah.
So for me, Ender is like Ender's game, and Turing, of course, the Turing machine. This guy, da da da. So decipher.
Obviously, but
what?
Yes, exactly.
Ender from Ender's Game, the book and the movie.
Yeah, but it's not only one book. It's not a lot of people know that there is a series of books about Ender, and in some
you mean
of
the
them,
guy, this Ender guy, yeah?
Yes, and in some books he's adult, and this adult who has special abilities, and he saves world with his special abilities, saves humanity. So we created a little bit of Ender who saves humanity with artificial intelligence.
And Turing comes from Alan, right? I understand.
Yes, yes.
Wow, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So you see, it works with people of certain intelligence. It works. And I understand this is this is your goal. You see, I gave you a compliment and myself a little bit somewhere between the lines. Interesting. Okay, let's move on. Now describe the product itself. Like, what do you think are the key performance indicators for success of your solution? What's so interesting for the clients? So I will help you. Explain maybe AI scoring. What do you mean by that?
So the good point about our product that we cover a lot of processes in call center that are not necessarily only sales performance, but also quality of service. And this is QA process, quality assurance process, and coaching. And we have possibility for agents to be on the system as well, tracking their own performance and having self-learning materials over there, which is probably almost unique for such systems on the market.
Yeah. Interesting.
So what we applied some scientific research on how adults learn. And when you want to teach people soft skills, it's not books. It's not like training, be more kind, be more attentive or something. It doesn't work. So people have to see real examples or hear real examples, and they start mimicking. So we are like learning soft skills from other people, how they do it. And we implemented
in the team
model.
only, right? Because they say you are not allowing yourself to transfer my universe, so to say, into another company's dashboard and so on.
No.
My texts are not transferred there. Okay, I understand why, but in a way, it's a pity for me, because then I would wait for 2 years and then join your company, and and stand on shoulders on previous giants or smaller companies and so on. Okay, cool.
Well, from your team, for example, you have 50 people, as we discussed, and 10 of them are top performers. So from those top performers, it is really easy in our system to select best conversations and save them as best examples for others to learn from. And people have possibility to get in, see where I'm lacking some knowledge or skills, like, for example, starting the conversation, like icebreaker or sales pitch, or what's my problem. And then I jump to my self-learning tasks, and I see those conversations that are great specifically in this part, like objection handling or price negotiation or opening the conversation, closing it.
Okay.
And then I can listen to my top performing peers, even if they quit. Their performance is still
it stays in the company.
Yeah. And then
Great.
I can learn from them how to make it and try to, let's say, copy the same pattern.
Okay. And agent scoring, or sales agent scoring, what was there? Like the way somebody starts a conversation, I can see obtaining information, resolving the case, sales skill, ending the conversation, providing information on communication skills, relationship building even. Wow.
Yeah.
And actions in the system and so on. What about starting a conversation? How would you evaluate? Oh, no, I'm doing the evaluation, right? So I set up a benchmark.
Yes, exactly.
This is a great start opener or something.
Yeah.
Or this is great, show of great sales skills. And okay, interesting.
And we give you possibility to track only those conversations that led to the result. So not necessarily you have to track, I don't know, thousands of conversations to find one or two good ones. We'll show you only those that already brought you a desirable result, whether it is the meeting booked or the contract closed, or it depends on your sales cycle.
Yeah. And so, for example, for starting conversation, I'm now digging a little bit deeper. You would have the like scorings or to tick off a box with a plus or minus sign or whatever for specific items like greeting. Have you greeted? Yes, no. Introducing the brand and itself? Yes, no. Offering help or presenting the purpose of the conversation? Yes, no. Verification, like smile, engagement in the meantime.
Yeah,
wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and some of them can be automatically matched by the system, and you just have to agree or disagree.
Nice. Yes. Okay.
So, for example, we know the name of your company, and if the person said their name and the company name, we can automatically tick, yes, it was done.
Yes. Okay.
And then you just have to skim through the conversation, not necessarily to listen to all the parts. You can jump from one part to another, listen to the specific parts and mark them. And then you have the scoring. And we actually had a clock watching how the customer do it conventionally. When they don't see the text, they have on the blind recording, they start listening and ticking those boxes in Excel spreadsheet. And then in our system, it took them 20 times less time. Okay.
I understand. So I see the text, and then if I need to hear not only the text itself, to see the text, but also hear the tone, the delivery, right? The speech delivery, so to say, how friendly and so on and so on. Okay, I can click, and then I hear just like in Otter or similar situations. Okay.
But
solutions. Okay.
But you go through, you see already marked parts of the conversation, like this is greeting, this is that, and maybe some keywords if you need, or maybe some other marks that we put inside, and it's make it much faster.
Okay. Yeah. Clear. And as far as channels of communication, are you using some VoIP, like voice over internet protocol or something, or this could be also recorded through regular GSM providers or mobile network providers?
Almost all the modern GSM providers, they have so-called service as a virtual call center. Okay. If you put your corporate phones to that virtual call center, it means that they will do for you necessary type of recording of the conversations, and then we can use it. But
and again, technically, and now I'm really getting interested now, and I understand this could also be possible with our ongoing phone numbers, mobile phone numbers.
Yeah, if this is a corporate number and your mobile
provider, company number and so on.
Yeah, and your provider have this. Almost everybody now have it, like virtual call center. So this is additional service that your company has to pay for, and then you just put what numbers from your company you want to be on that virtual call center, and then you can order the recording from them.
Okay. And you do not do speech analysis and transcription and so on live. You need like your system needs to be fed with these recordings, right? Or is it automatically somehow?
We do
live,
both.
I mean live, yeah.
We do both, but it depends on how we integrate with what we integrate, and if this system really can provide us a live stream. And also in the live stream, you should know that the quality will be lower than in the recording.
Okay.
That's technical limitation for almost all the systems currently presented.
And again,
some limitations on neural networks.
Yeah, clear. And now again, real case situations, your clients are what, like feeding into the system those recordings every day, weekly, monthly? What's the approach?
Usually we integrate seamlessly with their call recording solution or call center solution, and we take the recording right after it was recorded. So let's imagine we had 3 minutes conversation, and then right immediately when it is in the system, we grab it in and process, and in the next 3 minutes, you have already the result.
Interesting. Why do you?
We have
sorry,
those, and we have those special pop-ups and triggers. Like if something was in the conversation that really needs immediate attention, we can flag it and send notification. And it's more not for sales communication, but for example, quality assurance or customer service. When client calls in the bank, and let's imagine the verification was not correct or suspicious, then we can flag this conversation as suspicious on verification, and then people can immediately jump on it. You know, there are a lot of fraudsters who call banks, and they try to be as a client, but really getting some sensitive information from them. So that's what we possibly can prevent.
Possibly can prevent. And who sets up those red flag situations, you or the client?
The client. In our system, the second point, what is unique about our system, that client doesn't need any engineering or IT team to set up a lot of those things. And we're really proud to say that we are fastest to implement and fastest to value analytic tool for speech.
Interesting. So another question, why did you decide to focus on call centers only? Because what you just said, I think it would be interesting for any business that has client and sales agent interaction or customer support or you know, help desk or whatever over the phone, which is voice. And this is like most of the businesses have this at some point, right? And
yes. And for us, call centers, we call this as a department or a unit inside the company. It's not BPO, it's really in-house call center. So you are absolutely right. It can be just a sales department or customer service department in the company. Why call center? Because in financial institutions, it's traditionally called call center.
Okay. So you probably should change a little bit your, you know, message externally from call center to, I don't know, call center or any like client interacting teams.
Exactly. Now
like
we are
your sales.
Now we are in the process of making separate landing pages that will address exactly those departments that we cover. And why this is a regular question actually to us, especially from investors or accelerations. Why do you work with sales and customer service? Maybe you should focus on something. Well, for financial institution, call center usually is 3 different departments. This is sales, customer service, and debt collection. And all those guys really love our solution. And that's why we decided not to be, you know, a very specific tool, but to be a really comprehensive and easy to use tool for call centers, for financial service organizations.
Okay. But you would say it's well suited for companies other than call centers, for companies that for whom this is not main business, right?
Yes.
But who has, I don't know, a couple of like 5, 10, 20 salespeople, or people who interact a lot through the phone with
yeah, for us, we saw
clients,
that the most value get companies that have at least 15 people in one team.
Okay.
If this is less, then you can do this manually with a good process setup.
I see. On the GDPR side, you are recording both sides. And of course, my employees will know that I'm recording for learning purposes and so on. What about the interlocutors on the other side of the line?
Yeah, the situation is that we do not record, so we process, and the company records it through call center solution or through,
yeah. What I mean, no, of course, recording. I understand.
Yeah, but yeah,
ultimately,
so
I have conversation of two people. One of them knows that they have been recorded and transcribed all of this stuff, and the other one, my client, does not know usually, right? How do you deal with this?
First of all, we delete all the personal and sensitive data. So you don't know the name of a client, the number of phone, or anything else related to that. So there is no such data. Secondly, that's up to the company to provide this information of the call being recorded.
Okay.
And still, if you do not store the conversation recorded, you actually are not breaching anything. So it's like notes taking. So you take notes, and those notes are the full transcript of the conversation, except of the personal data.
Okay, and just to finish this topic, you can say that the solution is GDPR compliant, right? Or you would say that you provide relevant pieces of advice so that the client stays GDPR compliant. Is it first or second?
Both. So we are GDPR compliant, plus we show and provide all the notes on what to do, what not to do to stay compliant. So we help our clients to get into DPIA process and get the approvals.
Yeah, in a nutshell, how much are the different packages, and is it per user or per company?
Yeah, we charge per agent or per sales rep. How many of those company have. We do not charge for management and everybody who uses the data. I mean, like how many supervisors or other people who use the system to track this data, make actions and all of this, only for the people who create data and who we need to improve the performance of. And we charge 78 euro per month per user. But it can be more. It depends on the size of enterprise, and if they want more integrations, some customizations, then we can charge more.
Okay, so 78 per seat per user.
Per seat per month.
Yeah. And if you can share how many, give or take the rounded figure, how many users you have right now, and would you say the churn is high, low? Do clients like stick to the solution?
We have almost 1,500 users of the system.
Paying, yeah?
Yes, but these are 14 customers. So they are quite a big number in one customer. And
so around 15 clients, I understand it, only 1,500, around 1,500 seats, yeah, more or less.
Yes.
Rounded up. Okay, cool. So good averages. Just to say, it's rather a solution for somebody with bigger number of sales agents. Okay.
Yes, exactly. And we are now seeing that the average number is growing. So we are going after bigger clients, and the average number of seats per company is growing.
Yes, Olena, okay, interesting. Before we move on, what would you say are the biggest problems, challenges to companies' growth right now, where do you focus your attention mostly? On the tech, on sales, on expansion?
For us, it's sales, because selling to mid and big enterprises, that's direct sales. And you cannot do this with low-level sales guys or small team. You really need resources for that. And for us, this is the biggest challenge at the moment, plus some marketing. In direct sales, you need PR or more expensive advertisement or conferences, and conferences are hugely expensive at the moment. Like people getting back from online to offline. Everybody wants to go to some conferences, and then participation in those is really expensive for early stage startups.
I see, okay. And so who is doing the sales right now? I understand the founding team, right? Or you as the...
We already hired two sales reps, and planning to grow that after the next round.
Okay, and they focus on what markets? I mean, countries?
Currently European Union, but we started approaching the US. The US market is quite challenging because of one language mainly, which is English. And currently we have our, let's say, a small advantage of offering Spanish language as well. Most of the systems, I would say, like nobody other can provide Spanish language for that market. And that's what we try to use as our opening for the doors.
Olena, explain again why English is a challenge in the US as one language?
Challenge for us because we are competing in other languages mainly. And in English, there are systems on the market who provide, let's say, affordable
alternatives,
accuracy, and yes, alternatives. And that's not news in the US then.
Okay. So I understand huge potential in the US, probably, but then you say there's big competition. Then how would you compare? And now we are switching to the next round. How would you compare yourself to the closest competition? First, name it. I think you mentioned already DeepGram, right?
DeepGram is not the competition.
Not competition. So name one or two competitors, let's say, that are already present in the US, and how do you compare against them? What's your plan to, I don't know, beat them or catch up with them?
Observe.ai. That's one system, and the second is Chorus. But Chorus have been acquired 1.5 years ago. And they are moving into a different direction, I would say. So Chorus is slightly getting out of the market, but Observe is there. And for us at the moment is the main idea is to compete currently, let's say currently, on price. Why is that? Because of the market, and we consulted a little bit with investors in the US who said, like, this is a great time to compete on price. Companies are a little bit cutting the budgets according to this recession slowly coming all over the world. And in this situation, companies that are bigger, that have a lot of costs on direct sales and others, they cannot, let's say, cut prices. They cannot cut budgets from their for their clients. And we can. We are very efficient.
Yeah. Okay. So you're able to give discounts or to provide this arbitrage compared to the current players, right? Okay.
Yes, and that's especially because we have our proprietary engine for speech recognition, and most other companies, they use somebody.
Yeah, ready-made kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's what you said, because you can control then
we have very
adjustments. Okay.
Yes, and we have very computationally savvy engine that doesn't require a lot of computational power to produce necessary results. So we can
Like
control.
optimize, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And the second point is Spanish language. If customer needs English and Spanish, then for those companies, that's really difficult to add one more language to the system. And for us, it's easy.
Ah, okay. Okay. So really call center acting as hubs, servicing clients in different languages, this would be a big potential for you as well, which probably should exclude US because they more usually than not outsource this to other countries like Mexico, I think. Yeah.
Philippines, Malaysia, Jamaica.
Or even Poland. I mean, in Poland, this call center business is huge as well.
Yeah, European countries, that's definitely yes. And we have good.
Or Romania for this matter as well. Lots of call centers are opening up in Romania as well.
Bulgaria.
And Romania, Poland, Bulgaria, language-wise, these countries are pretty effective. And lots of multilingual consultants there, of course. So that would be interesting. So I think you might be even like thinking of a kind of a roundabout, going to the headquarters of big companies and then coming back to Europe for the actual sites, call center sites, where the actual service is provided.
Oh, I like the way how you think, because this is exactly because this is exactly how companies operate. A lot of companies, they have mixed or outsourced call centers. Mixed meaning that they have one team on site and the rest is outsourced, and they mix both to adjust processes according to internal ones. And those who are outsourced teams, they actually work for that big company. It's not like traditionally when they just gave all the processes out and don't touch, but it's close to outstaffing actually now.
Yeah. And I would guess in the more mature markets like US, UK, or Germany or something, they might have call centers to cover escalations or escalated cases, right? Where simpler situations.
Second tier, third tier of support.
Oh yeah. Okay. You see, sorry, I'm not an expert in call center business itself, but I like the terminology, but I more or less start to understand how it could work at least. So there's first tier, right, for initial interaction, second tier if there's an escalation needed or something, or bigger deal size or whatever, and then third tier, okay, for the really like crisis situations,
cases,
complicated. Oh, okay. Anything else beyond third tier, or third tier is like CEO by helicopter, flying over by helicopter?
It depends on the company structure and SLAs internal.
Wunderbar, as Germans would say. Let's move on. Quick round number 3, and this is quick Q&A. Just one question here, usually, but we can expand. As a busy co-founder and top manager in the company that is growing fast, we understand, what are your own productivity hacks? Not the tools, but the way you do things.
First of all, on being on the almost 2 years founder, I started understanding that I need rest after 2 years. Before that, it was quite adrenaline rush and you don't feel that you're tired. But then I started doing rest periods. That's first of all. Secondly, I use an app called Dailyo. It helps me to put all the necessary routine, actually even to stay hydrated, because sometimes I even forget to drink. That's maybe my personal thing. Like I don't feel I need to drink. And that's why I do this through the notifications in the app. Secondly, third, I have psychiatrists to talk to. So there are a lot of stress or some situations, then you feel that you need somebody to talk to. And it's better not to talk to your co-founders because your mood can influence other people. So it's better to go and talk to a specialist. And I really recommend it to all the founders.
Okay, one question then practical. Have you found the psychiatrist by yourself or recommended by somebody else that have already tested them in their own interaction? Because it's a delicate stuff. It depends what you're looking for. From what I know, usually people go to psychiatrists just to and they pay somebody who will then listen to them or at least pretend to listen to them, and then you have this validation, all of this stuff, and you give out all your problems, frustrations, and so on and so on. You leave the psychiatrist, even if they didn't give you a recipe for success or motivational speech or whatever, you're happy because you do not keep it. you do not keep it in yourself, right? And here, so let's come back to the question: have you found this psychiatrist yourself, or somebody recommended?
Somebody recommended, but it was quite before. It was a long time before I started a startup, and I really don't remember how it came up. But I remembered about this. I recalled this contact when I became the founder.
Okay, what are the positive things about having psychiatrists kind of sessions, right, or meetings?
Yeah, sometimes you get stuck and you don't understand, is this a real situation of some problems that you do something wrong, or this is just a episode of exhaustion of your mental state, or you are really tired. In such intensive environment, self-reflection doesn't help. I mean, sometimes you cannot understand, is it internal or is it external? And then you need somebody who will listen and then let you reflect efficiently.
On really needed stuff. And
yes.
Okay.
So, and then you understand, okay, everything is fine. I just stuck in this situation because I'm tired. I thought about it too much, or I worked on it too long. And I just need to step back and see the situation from a different perspective. Yes,
from psychiatrist perspective in this case, okay. And this is when this is a dialogue, because first you have to share the situation, describe When this is a dialogue, do you really get algorithms how to change the situation or better understand or improve your state of mind or whatever? Or psychiatrist just asks you the scripted questions, effective, but in any case, scripted questions that help you yourself answer your own questions? I wonder.
Well, the professional psychiatrist doesn't give you any recipe and any advice. Okay. They really ask you questions, but they understand what to ask. I wouldn't say it's scripted. They just read carefully the situation and then start asking you additional questions, and you answer your questions. And you answer the situation, you figure it out. And then, well, it works really well, because in some cases you then, after some period of practice, start asking it yourself, and then you don't need, to go to every other day to the person that will ask you questions. You can do it yourself.
It's like a coach, but a coach on self-reflection and a little bit better understanding of yourself, right?
Yes, exactly.
Process. Cool. Can I ask about the price? Is it up to 100 euros, between 100 to 200 euros, or above that per, I don't know, 60 minutes?
No, it's below 100 euro per hour.
150 or 50 to 100?
Below 100. It's even less
yes,
than
I understand.
100.
But then from 1 euro to 50, or from 50 to 100?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's between 50 to 100.
Okay, good. I mean, we could survive, I think. At least for a trial sessions or a couple of sessions.
Yes, exactly.
Would you advise founders when they're in crisis and so on, or just on the go, or just to give it a try and maybe sign up for 1 month and then see for themselves whether this would work or not, or wait until the crisis and then they go either to a church or to a psychiatrist?
It depends on the person.
Yeah,
if church helps, go to church. If it doesn't help, find your way. So even for some other people, it will not work to talk to somebody, but it will work for them to go to be alone in the forest. I don't know, shut out to trees, and if it helps, yeah, do it.
Okay.
But find your thing. Find your thing.
Just one of those alternatives. Cool. Olena, let's move on. Round 4, the company. So there are founders. The company was founded in 2018. Founder team are Olena Iosifova, Yevgen Yosifov. What a miracle, same last name. Oleg Romanovsky. And altogether you are around 12 people, I understand, right?
No, we are less. We are 8 people.
Ah, wrong. It's information from Time Machine. Sorry, I should have kept it to myself. So 8 people altogether, understand. Elena, yourself, CEO, 15 years of experience in IT, successful business exits, lead sale and marketing in the team. Yevgen, Chief Product Officer, understand. Similar senior level experience. Also an exit, Cisco partner status. Oleg Romanovsky, CTO, head of R&D, solution architects, full stack developer, machine learning researcher. So a very complimentary, I understand, team, and have some other guys also helping you. Okay, you are based in Tallinn, and all of you are working full-time. I mean, not only founding team, but also the rest of the team. Full-time in this company, or is it like a part-time gig for somebody?
No, we all full-timers.
Okay.
Some of the guys are contractors. That's how they like it to be, but all the full committed.
Okay. What's the current dynamics in the team? Are you hiring, and if yes, for what roles?
Yeah, we are currently hiring a marketing person, already waiting for her to come on board. So we found the guy,
cool.
The girl actually, and we are looking for a back-end developer.
Good luck with that.
Thank you very much. But the market
it's not
is
easy,
much
right?
better at the moment.
Oh, why?
Due to the recession, a lot of companies actually shortened their stuff. So it's a little bit easier now to find people, and the salaries are a little bit moderate.
Okay, came to normal more or less. Okay. Interesting, of course,
Yeah,
interesting. That's a repercussion of the
yeah.
What about sales? I think you have 2 sales reps right now, and this is enough, right? You should see like how they perform and so on.
I do sales myself, so I lead the sales, and we have 2 more sales people in the team. That's quite enough at the moment. But we understand that with growing preferences and preferences from current clients, we're getting in bigger numbers, and then we'll hire more.
In your sales process, you sure speak with clients over the phone. Are you using solution by a company called EnderTuring as well?
We do this not for the first cold calls, but we use this for the meetings analysis. Like if we would have a sales conversation with you right now, I would ask you for permission for a recording, and then it would go to our system and be analyzed.
Okay. Have you had clients refusing recording?
Yes.
And how do you deal with that? Do you like provide arguments why this should be in their like to their benefit or something, or you just let it go and that's it?
Yeah, we just let it go and take notes manually.
Okay. Yeah, this is I think is one of those hurdles. One of those hurdles, right? That both sides.
But sometimes when people resist to make a recording, they say some things that are really interesting, and I really love that they refuse recording, but then tell me more.
Okay, share more. Like, what do you mean? What interesting?
I cannot say exactly, but sometimes you ask questions like, how would the sales process go in your company? What other roles or what names of the people will influence the decision? And they really want your solution, and they will tell you all the organizational, let's say, situation, like who influenced what and how, and then they really help. They become advocates in the company, and they help you to go through the sales process.
I see. Yeah, like your champions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Olena, interesting. Let's move on. Round 5, Formula F3, which we call funding for the future. F3, okay. So in your own words, tell me your history by now of your financing. and investment rounds and so on. And then in a nutshell, your plans for the next year or so.
Yeah, we made the pre-seed round last year. It was small, 230,000. And this year we thought of seed round, but then our team is Ukrainian originally, and we have some stuff in Ukraine. Then exactly when we started fundraising, the war broke in Ukraine. And we actually have been paralyzed for 2 weeks, figuring out everything, like relocating people who we can relocate. And then we just skipped this idea of full round. We just announced that we'll do bridge, and we made this bridge quite easily and fast. So we closed not the complete round that we expected, but the bridge round. And then the recession, and then we got recommendations from the US investors. If it is possible, not to raise until next spring, so spring 2023. Why? Yeah. So first of all, they said like it is turbulence at the moment with valuations. And first of all, you will spend a lot of energy to getting what you want from investors. In one simple reason, they don't know how to evaluate companies at the moment. They need some time to figure this out. And then secondly, that being a little bit afraid, some of them push some notes like we don't do rounds, we pause or something, and then it negatively influences your this process of fundraising. Then just wait until everything settles down, and then in spring go to the market, and everybody will be hungry because some of them will keep money for some time, and then they will rush to put it out to the market again. And secondly, they will understand again how to evaluate. And it will be much easier, much faster to close the round.
Wow, very valuable, priceless, I would say, an analysis of the situation, and that should be taken into account by many companies right now. And in many situations, they need this financing, even at discounted or decreased kind of valuations to survive. But I understand you are not in this situation, yeah?
Yeah, that's why we made bridge. That gives us 12 months of runway plus revenue, so we can survive even longer. And then just go to the market with better conditions and raise in better conditions.
My calculator would suggest that you have enough money to be not only on break even, but also making money right now. Is it a mistake?
It is a mistake because this is our current pricing. When we started with our first clients, we had the price 3 times lower than currently. We raised price 2 times.
Okay, true. Okay.
So that's a little bit different, but we are close to break even, yes.
Okay. So which means your website information about pricing is not up to date yet, because you have the previous pricing, right? Like 39 per user, 3 users.
It was starting with actually 18.5.
Okay. Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. Then we jumped almost twice, and then again twice. So we 2 times increased the pricing.
And what about the clients with previous pricing? Yeah.
Yeah, waiting for the clients to change the contracts.
I see. For the previous to expire and then upgrade. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Olena, what should I say? Interesting concept. And even myself, like not being active very much in call center, I see the value, and I see the value beyond call center situations as well. Plus, you helped explain it to me that it's not actually about call center, but actually about any client interaction based teams, sales or advisors or anybody else. And the entry point, you would say, reasonable entry point was somewhere from 15 upwards, right? 15 people interacting with clients and so on. So that was interesting. Lots of interesting ideas I've heard right now. I think we had a great conversation, Olena. Thanks a lot for for sharing sharing details about the company, your plans, and I think you should be on good track to conquer not only European market but also overseas. And wish you good luck with that.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.